All right, what is up, guys? Your boy is. I didn't even expect to make a video like this. I know you guys can already pretty much see by like what you're looking at, but first a little bit of context, a little bit of backstory. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't expecting to make a video like this. I was more so expecting to actually make a speculation video about this, but it got leaked. I don't know how, but it got leaked. I do feel bad. Not bad enough to not talk about it though. I'm sorry. I have to. I'm so excited. But first things first, like obviously, if Capcom by for whatever means like want to take this video down and strike the channel, like they're well within their right to. I won't be mad about something like that. Like this is just something I did want to talk about, and obviously me being a Giddy fan as I am, of course I kind of want to talk about it. Come on, like it's Street Fighter, bro. Like I feel like us as fans, we deserve to be excited. Like the people that stuck it through the 5 era, because I stuck it through. I wasn't talking bad about the game. Of course, I have my criticisms, but like I wasn't talking bad about the game. Like the game is unplayable. I wasn't one of the people that was ready to throw my disc out the window. I still played it, enjoyed it. I still purchased a abundance of costumes. I supported the game financially in different ways. Like I purchased characters. Like of course, I still want Street Fighter to thrive, because I would argue that Street Fighter, maybe after like the anime fighting games, when it comes to more so authenticized fighting games, Street Fighter was that game for me. So like I'm just excited to talk about this. So first things first, I was on YouTube. I was like, going through cards, because I also dabble with cards as well. For the people that's just watching this because it's a Street Fighter video, I dabble with collectible cards. I was organizing my collectible cards, and then I'm just on YouTube as well because, to kill time. So I'm watching a Rufelmonger video, and I thought he was making a speculation video, or he was going to do what I did, which was talk about Maximilian's speculation video. None of that happened at all. None of that freaking happened. So apparently, boom, boom, the whole roster got leaked. And I cannot wait to see the redesigns, the relooks. Like, this is actually insane. Like, shout out to, Desktop. But this is actually insane, dude. Like, look at these guys. And no, we're not just gonna be at awe of the characters. We're actually going to deep dive, break down design, story implications, as well as what could have been the thought process of why Capcom chose to have these characters go in this direction. And you will understand why as I go through characters. So first things first, Ryu. I talked about this in my live reaction. I talked about this in my own personal breakdown of what could potentially be happening in Street Fighter. So Ryu, obviously, he's taken on the Gouken persona. In my video, I talked about personally, I wanted Ryu to embody more of Gouken and Akuma together. But obviously, Akuma is essentially the new Gouken. Like, he is Gouken through and through. I think in this game, I wouldn't be surprised if Gouken is, like, dead. Because the thing about the Street Fighter storyline, yes, I am a storyline buff. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about the storyline. But I do enjoy the Street Fighter storyline, and I do pay attention to that more. Especially when I first started getting into Street Fighter. When I get into any fighting games, the story is the thing that gravitates me. Like, I'm not gameplay first, story second, or story non-existent. I'm story first, then gameplay. Then is this game for me? So basically, Ryu has officially embodied Gouken. I'm pretty sure Street Fighter 6 is a canonical game, or I don't know how they're going to rework the storyline for the game itself, or if that's even a factor. But I would definitely say, like, boom, Ryu has officially embodied Gouken. Gouken is probably dead now, and that's probably why they overall went with this character design for Ryu. I talked about this again previously. Ryu does give me Wanderer vibes. I don't think of Ryu as necessarily a sensei in this game at all. Like, Ryu is that character. He's still trying to, I guess, understand. That's the biggest thing about Ryu's character, that they always kind of promoted him as an individual that's just trying to understand and found or solidify a foundation of why combat. is the most purest form of communication. I feel like that's always been like Ryu's character, especially when he was struggling with himself and struggling with the dark Hado, or like his evil and lustful tendencies when it came to the battle and the thrive to win. So like I feel like Ryu has officially become a wanderer. Outside of the character design, it does make sense. Like he does have this monkish kind of like Shaolin look to him, where he's kind of nomadic as well, where he's just like roaming around the world, right? And I think that's a very cool progressional thing for Ryu as a character. Now, moving on to Ken. Ken, like I'm not gonna lie to you, Ken, obviously these pictures are blurry. Like I can't see his face. Obviously we see the design of him. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Ken hung it up, man. Ken, let's not say he's washed up. Ken is not washed up. But I will definitely say that Ken is no longer in a place where he's interested in flourishing in his arts. He's now more so focused on his family. And I really want to say that more so than anything, because believe it or not, like this looks more so like a casual getup, something that you would kind of, I guess for Ken in this case, like this is something that he would kind of just go out in, but also fight in as well. And I'm only saying that because of the jacket. So the jacket kind of give me those vibes that this is more of a casual look. Obviously, where the character Ken goes is he's a family man now. In Street Fighter V, he had a son. They could keep that, and as well as like if this is supposed to be a game after Third Strike, then definitely what's happening now is more so like he has Sean under his belt. So he's definitely not like a formal teacher like Chun-Li, but you can definitely tell like he's kind of gonna be like the rugged dad in like Street Fighter 6. Like he's definitely looking like a rugged dad. And the attire kind of screams that as well. Like, of course, like he doesn't look sloppy. He doesn't look like he's going through divorce or anything like that, like anything crazy like that. But he does look like he's going to be the rugged, strong father figure in the game. While he's not necessarily raising, but he's mentoring, I should say, Sean. And he's also mentoring his own son. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a cinematic story mode again, that we would see like that interesting, cool dynamic between him, like Sean, Mel, Ken's son, and maybe Laura. Laura might pop up, but maybe not as a playable character. Who knows? Okay, Zangief. I cannot lie to you. There's not much I can say about Zangief outside of the only thing that his character can probably do. Zangief can probably be the new Poison, or maybe work with Poison in the sense of having their own like fight organization or wrestling organization. I think that's the most I can see Zangief being. But then the attire doesn't really scream boss. Their attire more so, then again, Poison attire didn't necessarily scream like quote unquote like boss. So I would definitely say like Zangief does come across as like a fighter in my eyes. Like I think he still fights. I still think he's a wrestler. What would have been cool is if they kind of designed him with like maybe a world championship belt. Because I don't know, like I felt like Zangief has been wrestling for so long. I felt like the best thing that they could have done for the character is 100% give him like a world championship belt or something like that. Or maybe he has like some sort of like gimmicky combo with his world championship belt. I thought that would have been pretty sick for Zangief. You know, letting us know that like within his career, Zangief is a world champion. But then that's just, they can iterate that through verbal conversation, or they can just write it in text. Like it doesn't have to be something that's embedded in the game itself. But moving forward, Dhalsim. Dhalsim is always, he's an elder. He's an elder. Like he come across as in like a Oro. He come across as just like a holder of wisdom. Kind of similar to Ryu's role in my opinion, where like Dhalsim is not necessarily a player in any factor or any term of the word. Like Dhalsim is more so just like he's a holder of knowledge. And I think that's always been kind of like Dhalsim's place in the Street Fighter franchise. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't know too much about Dhalsim and his backstory, but he always just came across as an elder. Like, he holds a obscene amount of knowledge. Like, that's always how I've seen Dhalsim. All right, next, Honda. Honda looks actually really, really cool. I'm not going to lie to you. There's not much I can really say about Honda outside of just like attire-wise. Obviously, this is like a newish design for Honda compared to his like Street Fighter 5 and classic Street Fighter looks. So I would definitely say like I can't really see right now. Like, I'm not gonna force it, but right now I don't know where Honda would go. I do remember Maximilian talking about making Honda like a Yakuza boss. That would be pretty cool. But from what was given to us via the stories of Street Fighter, I just don't know. Like I just really don't know where they could potentially bring Honda. Now we have Blanca. So Blanca potentially going to be a part of core roster. Now when it comes to Blanca, again, he's the friend of Sakura. So there's not really much I can say there. So when it comes to Blanca and his Street Fighter V storyline, I remember he was like a mascot at one point for Sakura's like shop or Dan's shop. For the character itself, I really don't know where they can go. Maybe now that he's a bit more famous, I mean, Blanca isn't just like, wearing his same old raggedy attire. Like, he does look like he has been getting maybe some sort of financial boost, but that's really a stretch. I really, again, like, I don't want to force it. I really don't know where they could potentially go with Blanca. Blanca and Honda for me is just like over my head. Whatever they end up doing is gonna take all of us by storm. Like, we don't know what exactly they could potentially, do. Now, Guile. Guile. Now, when it comes to Guile now, I think Guile got promoted. I definitely think Guile got promoted. I don't know if you guys remember that dude in Street Fighter V, who I believe he was like some sort of command. He might have not been, but I think Guile definitely got promoted in rank, which he well deserves. I think at this point, like, Guile is at a higher rank within his military platoon. Don't get me wrong, I do not know jack diddly squat about military rankings, nor does I really know about Guile's ranking, but I know Guile was a foot soldier, like, for through and through. Like, Guile was the equivalent to like a beat cop, in my opinion, when it came to his military standings. But judging from his attire and judging from his look, it does look like he overall did rank up. I could be wrong, but I would definitely say like that's his progression. Like, and it only makes sense. Like, let's be honest, it really only makes sense when it comes to him naturally progressing to a higher rank in the field. And Chun-Li, we already saw her in the trailer itself. There's not really much to say outside of like Chun-Li has officially embodied her teacher role. Like, I've always felt like Chun-Li was an amazing, phenomenal teacher-like character, always spewing her wisdom, always spewing her wisdom, a very fine master in her own craft and art. And of course, like, this is just going off of the Street Fighter 3 storyline when she did meet that young girl. I feel like this is just a good, again, natural progression, great natural progression for Chun-Li. So that's for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. But we're not done yet. We got more characters to go. All right, next. Woo! Yo! Now this got me hype. So check this out. Cami, DJ, obviously, they brought back Rashid. Jury, I believe this has to be Ed. I want to say this is Ed. This only makes sense for it to be Ed. And then Akuma. All right. So this is another, that was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 characters. So we got Akuma. So first and foremost, let's call out the elephant in the room. Cami retired. She is no longer working with, I think Cami has fully retired. It wasn't necessarily specified if she did start working for the military like Guile, or she started working for like the England Accord, or she became a cop in her own right. But the way how Cami's dressed, I think Cami has officially retired, and she's living her life with DiCaprio. Like, I think her and DiCaprio are living their lives as sisters together. She's trying to help out her sister. She's trying to help out her fellow dolls. I wouldn't be surprised that Cami is going to be like the den mother of all the dolls coming out of Street Fighter V. Cami, for the most part, is going to be like the mom for everybody, and she's basically just going to help them like reintegrate them into society again. I think Cammy is officially just going to help her sisters out. She's no longer going to be out there in the field, quote unquote, that is, storyline wise. Of course, there's going to be circumstances and situations where she has to fight. But right now, I think Cammy's natural progression coming out of Street Fighter V is going to be taking care of her sisters. Like, Cammy is going to be big sister Cam. So, yes. Now, DJ, big boy smile. Big boy smile. Okay. I really don't know what they're going to do with DJ. And again, I don't want to force it. I don't want to stretch it out. I don't know, because DJ was just this jolly, happy-go-lucky character. Like, I don't know where his story can go. They can either make him really, really playful or really, really serious. But, like, I don't know. Like, I felt like DJ was such a blanket. Like, he was such a white sheet of paper that whatever they do would be just interesting in its own right. Like, not necessarily saying this character doesn't have any, like, potential fallacies. But, of course, I want him to be a cool character. But, like, I just feel like right now, because he's such a blank sheet of paper, especially even off of what they did with him in Street Fighter 4, anything that they do with him will be new. I can't even fathom what they can do. There's so many possibilities. There's so many options that they can do with DJ. So, yeah, not much there. And this gotta be Rashid. Rashido. Like, this gotta be Rashid. Like, I'm 100% calling it. This is Rashid. And coming off of Street Fighter V and his storyline with Fang, his storyline with Ascension, his storyline with becoming the best pupil to his master, Azam, I would definitely say Rashid is another one. I felt like his story more so concluded in Street Fighter V. Like, he got his revenge for his friend. He's still mastering and learning within his own right. So, Rashid, I wouldn't say he's as empty as DJ, but Rashid, I'm more so interested in where this character could even go. Like, he could be similar to Ryu, which they did have that duality in Street Fighter V, where, like, Ryu and Rashid was somewhat similar, but I would definitely say, like, anywhere they go at Rashid will be interesting. I'm really curious to see where they go. Judging from his attire and his look, it doesn't necessarily specify he's with any organization or he's working for anybody, but yeah, this is pretty interesting. Now, my main, like, this is my main Street Fighter 4. She's one of the two characters I had to pick up when I was first getting into Street Fighter. It was her and Yun. So, Juri. Oh my god. Juri could have such big implications for past events. Not current events, past events. I feel like Juri, if they do her right, Juri would be that character, in my opinion, that helps us understand or bridge the gap in the time gap that's going to happen in this game. So, for example, basically what I'm talking about, what happens to Bison? What happens to Seth, maybe? What happens to the dolls? Because Juri has such a massive connection to so many characters. I wouldn't be surprised her role is info dumping. Unfortunately, Juri's role will be info dumping. What role she might play in the overall overarching story of Street Fighter, none of us will know. But I will definitely say, like, for right now, her role will definitely be info dumping. She could be the character to tell us what happens with Seth, with Bison, maybe even with some of the dolls, like the Capri. But I definitely see Juri being that character, bridging the gap. Maybe even what happens with Yuri and Guile. But yeah, like, because remember, like, Juri also, I guess they could play something with her losing her eye or potentially getting her eye back, or the Fangjin engine. Like, they can definitely do something along the lines of her getting that back. But besides that, like, I really don't know what they plan on doing with this character at all. Like, she definitely do look sick. Not necessarily too much of a big change from her original design. I do think this design is beautiful within its own right. It looks great. Like, oh, it's so good. Ed, my boy, Ed. Again, I don't know what they're gonna do with Ed outside of info dump us. Like, he's another character that they can use to talk about what happens to Shadowloo, what happens to Seth, what happens to the new Shadowloo that he's currently creating. Heck, he might be the boss. He might be a boss or a sub boss or a mini boss. He might have some form of weight in the game in the shape of him being a type of boss. I don't think he's the game's boss, but definitely I'm interested to see what happens here. These two characters, so Jiri and Ed, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these two characters are just info dump characters. Now, Akuma. I really don't know what they're going to do with this character. I honestly can see him and Ryu having like maybe one final bout. Like, if they do have a cinematic storyline or any type of story, whether it's an arcade or any type of like cutscenes or anything like that, I could see Akuma and Ryu settling everything once and for all. Heck, I'm not going to lie to you. I can see Akuma on a surface level, I can see Akuma either being the final boss or the hidden boss or the puppeteer. I can see Akuma being a boss of a game. Like, seriously, like I could really see that. Because Akuma, the only reason he's like this storyline wise is because he wanted to advance his martial arts to a level where he's unstoppable, unbeatable. But I think, and again, this has never been iterated, but this is just something I've seen in this type of storytelling for like always. Like, the individual that does get mass amounts of power and he's now at a point where he's just untouchable, unbeatable, he does look for that one person to eventually topple him. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is that game for Akuma where he dies by Ryu and have his last amazing bout that he can ever have. Like, he just wants to have that one last blood boiling, high tension, intense battle with an opponent. And I think this could be the last game we actually see like Akuma like alive. Because the last person to give him Akuma that challenge he killed, which was Gen. So Gen is dead. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Akuma, his natural progression would be like he fights like Ryu, and him and Ryu has like this final battle, as well as like to avenge Goken. You know, like I think that would be like a sick thing. Whether that's, I think that should definitely be like a surface level thing. Like, we have the main boss, but then the real boss or the real puppeteer to everything was Akuma. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Akuma at all, and we see him all the way towards the end for his final battle with Ryu. Oh my god, excuse me. His final battle with like Ryu. I think that would be sick. All right, now let's go, new generation. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not even know where to begin. I do not know where to begin. So check this out. We got Luke. We already know Luke's backstory, and we already know he's seeking out Ryu to learn, to understand, to get stronger, because Ryu at this point in time is a very formidable foe, very powerful foe. So he could definitely or potentially be seeking out Ryu, which is fine. We know that from Luke's storyline. Anything, as well as we do know that he has trained with and under Guile. So we do know that as well. But now, woo! Another Thai fighter. I hope I got my my flags right. But another Thai, Spain? A Spaniard? Is this the Spain flag? I think this is the Spain flag. I could be wrong. Like, my geography and my terrible map knowledge aside, this looked like he's a Thai fighter. At first, when I saw this, I thought this could potentially be Sagat's son, or someone that Sagat has trained. But I don't know. Like, it's like these new characters look amazingly colorful. Like, I do love their designs. I love their aesthetics. Like, they look so good. So this fighter, I would have, because he has a similar stance to Sagat. So I wouldn't be surprised he's just another like Muay Thai fighter. Like, I'll definitely say that about character 2. We don't know their names, but character 2, I would definitely say he's a Muay Thai fighter. We already know about Jamie. We saw him in the trailer very heavily. Through the Street Fighter 6 website or Street Fighter website, we get to see that he's like a admirer of Yun and Yang. So he embodies a lot of their like mannerisms. He embodies a lot of their like fighting styles. The one thing I was saying, I thought that this was Gen's son. I'm gonna stick with that because he does also embodies a lot of Gen, like a lot of Gen. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not saying like yes it screams that yeah this man is Gen's son, but like there's certain little minor things about him that screams Gen to me. Even the ultimate for it, well I guess his His ultimate move. His ultimate move also screams Gen to me for some reason. Next, all of these characters are, I don't know. I would definitely say that this character right here in the light orange, or you would say like kind of like um crystal pink kind of look he got going on here. I think he might be the final boss or the boss of the game. I still think that Akuma is like the hidden boss, but this might be the surface boss, like the boss that we will be knowing of his evil intention and his agenda. And that's a big maybe. So wait. That's 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. If we get a 22 character roster, that's amazing. That's beautiful. In my opinion, a 22 character roster for Street Fighter is perfect. But anyway, this character, I don't know. I don't know. Judging for her design, she could, cause okay. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know every form or every type of martial art, but I would say based on her design, she could be a grappler. Like she does give me grappler vibes. I don't want to say because she doesn't have shoes, but the way how she looks, she could potentially be a grappler. Heck, she also could be a karate master as well. Like, and me, I'm just grasping at straws. I really, the only reasons I'm saying that she could be also a karate master is more so because of the black belt, obviously. So yeah, like I really don't know what to say. Like she could be a hybrid. You know what? I'll say this to put it to rest. She could potentially be a hybrid grappler, where she's like a she has her command grabs as well as she has like great like karate neutral tools, but there's not much I can really say about this character. All right, now next character, from Mexico. Also, she has like this very Indian like attire. So this character again, I really don't know what her style could be. Obviously, she has these two like these two tonfas, things that look like tonfas, or like these wooden sticks. So she could definitely have something to do with that. But I really don't know what her style or fighting could really be. It could be nature based. Maybe she is from the amazing land of Mexico, but she could be nature based in the sense that like maybe she has like birds or wildland creatures that fight alongside her, and maybe these two things are just things to help like whenever an enemy is maybe too close or they get past maybe her woodland creatures of fighting, then she would use this as like a second means of like offense. But again, like a grasping at straws, I really don't know what her style can be, but she does look like she may be connected with animals in some way or shape. Now, the gentleman, this man here. This man looks cool as heck. I'm not gonna lie. Gives me G vibes for sure. Whoa, this could be G. But I swear, G was from America though. G was from America, and they have a question mark, which is interesting. So you can tell that this character is definitely a part of an organization. This man is definitely a part of a new organization, and you want to know how I know? Because every person that's a part of an organization has their organization like right there. So for example, like Ed, his organization is Neo or New Shadowloo, right? Boom, organization right there. None of these characters are affiliates no more, except for Guile. He U.S. government, right? But none of them have like the little follow-up like indicator of an organization. Besides like Ed, obviously New Shadowloo, and then this individual, which if he was a part of New Shadowloo, they would have just let us know instead of just keeping it a question mark. So this is obviously boss. He is the boss of the game. What could we say about him? You want to know something? Like, I know Street Fighter isn't big on like mysticism and magic, but he does give me the vibes a little bit. Like, he might have some sort of like supernatural abilities to him outside of just like hand-to-hand combat. Well, this is still Street Fighter, so most fighters do utilize some form of hand-to-hand. But I don't know, like he could just be like I don't want to say magic, but he could have abilities outside of your traditional hand-to-hand combat, which would be interesting. I can't necessarily say what based off of what he's wearing, but it is pretty interesting. He is wearing a classy attire. I wouldn't be surprised if the stick does more than just, holds him up. Like, that probably is some form of weaponry for him, or it could be the catalyst to like the ability that he may or may not have. So yeah. Now, we definitely know who she is. Kimberly! I was just making fun of my friend Kimberly about Kimberly. I'm going to be the best and strongest Kimberly main known to man. I'm going to be the best that no one ever was when it comes to playing Kimberly. But Kimberly, for the most part, I would definitely say she has to be like... It's funny to say this, but I feel like Kimberly is definitely like a street fighter. Like she doesn't use any form of traditional martial arts. She might be like a hybrid fighter in the sense of like taking a martial art and refining it in her own specific way. Based on her attire and her look, we can't really discern too much. Besides, like she's definitely a beautiful American girl, and she's she knows she has hands. She definitely has hands. So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't think of her as like she doesn't give me grappler vibes at all. She doesn't give me grappler vibes at all. I would definitely say that I would definitely say she's more so gonna be like a hybrid fighter within a martial art. Like she's gonna have her own unique style. Like she's probably and could potentially be the Sean of the game. So cool. Now this character, I don't know why, but I think this is Fang's disciple in Street Fighter V. I don't know if you guys remember the storyline. I heard about this storyline from Vesper Arcade way back, but it was a storyline regarding Fang and a little girl, and Fang inevitably put this little girl under her wing. We don't know anything more outside of that, but fast forward, this could potentially be the little girl Fang put under her wing. And if it is, I think this is a sick idea. A sick idea. Because she give me poison user vibes. I don't know much about her hands or her nails, but it does look like she has an attachment on her hand with these these claw-like attachments. It don't mind you, these images are super blurry, so we don't know. So it could be she augmented her whole hand, or it's an attachment. But I do believe this is the little girl that Fang has raised. This is the little girl Fang raised. Or let's not say raised, but took under his wing. And yeah, guys, that's it for the leak characters. Like we have, this is amazing, dude. We have officially, potentially, because we don't know. It's leaked. All of this could be conceptual. We don't know 100%. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. If Street Fighter gives us a 22 character roster, amazing. Oh my God. Like, I would be ecstatic. I will be hype to the dickens, man. Like, I'm so excited. And the way how this looks is just like, oh my God. Like, all these characters look so freaking good. And I can't wait to get more information, to get those character trailers, if they plan on doing that this time around. And also, Summer Game Fest is happening really soon. Within like a week, I think I heard. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get more Street Fighter news. Awesome. If we don't, it's okay. Because we did get an amazing trailer with gameplay footage. And we also got this. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't be mad about this level of information that we're getting early. Granted, this is a leak. This hasn't been officially released via Capcom, as well as we don't even know if all of this is accurate to what the final game product is going to hold. But yes. Also, if this video gets taken down by Capcom, by all means, I 100% understand. I'm not salty about it. I'm not mad about it. I 100% understand that this video gets taken down. I get a strike. I'm not saying it's worth it, but like, it's understandable. Like, this information, of course, Capcom wants to keep hush-hush. They want to keep under the wrap. So if there's repercussion to it, fine. But I'm sorry. Like, I definitely wanted to talk to, like, you guys, the amazing worlds of the interwebs and Street Fighter fans alike. I wanted to get us together, talk about this, and just, yeah, like, I'm really excited. It's so funny because I was really going to do a breakdown video of what Maximilian said in his live stream about who could potentially be in the game. But That's it for this video. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you guys who took the time to watch this video of my thoughts of Street Fighter. You guys, please take care, stay awesome, and it's Transparent Hoodie signing out. Peace.